Hey y'all, I'm Goonicorn. I have one simple question, okay? One simple question. Where is Gizelle's storyline? Candiace and Chris planning on having a baby. Candiace is jet setting off to the Grammys, making all kind of network connections and stuff. Where is Gizelle's storyline? Ashley is finally getting a divorce from that creep. Where is Gizelle's storyline? Wendy hair is thinning. Where is Gizelle's storyline? Karen is getting new titties. She's coming up with something. She's still working on it. Where is Gizelle's storyline? Mia may or may not have cancer. Where is Gizelle's storyline? I will tell you, Gizelle does not have one, okay? Gizelle has been coasting by on this show, poking and prodding at everybody else's relationship for a check for 7 years. And we have gotten glimpses into her life, but we have never had a season where it has been Gizelle has a storyline. Gizelle's storyline has been feuding with Karen and Ray about their taxes, coming at Monique's husband, coming at Wendy's husband, coming at Ashley's husband, deserved, coming in between Robyn and Juan's marriage. Yes, fingering Robyn counts. That's not funny. I didn't mean that. Okay. But look, I just had to ask y'all that question. If y'all want to sound off in the comments below, I will be glad to hear it, okay? I'm Goonicorn and welcome to my channel where we are going to recap this week's episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. Season 7, episode 2. Okay. Before we get into those things though, please go down and subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave comments throughout. Do what you gotta do, girl. But let's get into it. Now, what we are not going to do is spend a whole lot of time talking about all of the minuscule things that happened in this episode. I'll give a brief little review on that, but we are down to get to the meat and potatoes of this, in which is Ashley and Candiace's sit down, and Gizelle and Candiace's sit down. Because that is what this season is gearing us up for, the epic battle between Candiace and Gizelle. Now, let's start from the beginning. Okay, so the episode starts off with the continuation of Mia versus Gizelle and everybody really, because everybody really has something to say about her awkward ass post. This is what I will say about Mia, short and quick. Mia is somebody who likes to garner attention and sympathy. Mia thrives. Mia doesn't really have a lot of substance. So the only way that she feels like she can get people on her side is to reach for sympathy. She did she did it all last season. And if you need a refresher on that, go watch my old videos or go watch last season. But Mia is very much so an attention seeker. With that being said, we can put that in a box, ship her off to China. Then now, Gizelle is also a nasty lady. She ain't got no tact, she ain't got no couth. So when she brought it up, the way that she brought it up was nasty, it was tacky, and I really ain't got no problem with it because I feel like she said exactly what we were all thinking. It is tacky as hell, but that is Gizelle. Do you expect anything else from Gizelle? No. Why? Because where is Gizelle's storyline? Without her being nasty and tacky and rude and asking all kinds of intrusive as insensitive questions, where's Gizelle? Where's Gizelle's place on this show? She's not a housewife. How do you have a show called The Housewives of Potomac and the face of the franchise is not married, has not been married, has not been in a real significant relationship since the time that she stepped foot in front of our camera, in front of our TV screens? Right, so that's that. Moving on. Now we go to Wendy, and I don't know honestly, this is coming all out of left field because I have notes, didn't look at them. Now we're in the doctor's office with Wendy, and she is there because she is experiencing a lot of postpartum hair loss, which I have heard is very common in women who give birth. And, prayers up for her. Hopefully she takes a little bit off of her plate, de-stresses a little bit. Hopefully the minoxidil helps her out. We love you, Wendy girl. Ain't much else to talk about. Moving on. So, the sit down with Mia, G, and Jacqueline. All of this, they was just saying a whole bunch of nothing. I guess Jacqueline doesn't really trust Karen's involvement or lack of involvement in the situation in the conversation that took place outside of Mia's company when Karen and Gizelle were talking about Mia's health scare. That's a valid thing for a friend to do. I mean, it is what it is. I'm on guard all the time for all of these bitches who got something to say about my friend's health scare. It is what it is. I also think as a friend, like, y'all two thinking alike about the post is weird to me. The post was weird. We all was just like, I don't know. I wouldn't really announce that I have a cancer scare to the world. I would announce that I have cancer to the world if I chose to do that. I don't think involving the world prematurely into my health diagnosis is just really helpful for anybody, because now you're just getting people's, now you are just scaring people for no reason. So that's weird. And granted, Mia is also probably scared. She probably was scared that something could be wrong with her, so she just went to her social media. I mean, there really is no right or wrong way to go about this, but it is odd. It is strange. It is strange. Okay, the sit down with Robyn and Gizelle. Robyn goes off on Gizelle because Gizelle told a bunch of her business about how Robyn's name is the only one on her house, which it really shouldn't be no big deal because it is what it is. That's my business and it ain't y'all's. Like, why was that anybody's business to tell? It isn't, but that's because Gizelle is not a real friend to anybody, because a real friend would not divulge that kind of sensitive information to anybody that was not already in the know. You don't think your best friend's associates knows something like this and says it. No, you supposed to know that your best friend told these girls that barely like her about her business. And that damn Karen don't like Robyn at all. So it's just like, why would you say this, But again, Gizelle, where is Gizelle's storyline? See, she's so preoccupied with everybody else's business, she ain't got none of her own to talk about. And then Robyn had to, give her a little warning shot. Bitch, you best keep the lid on the rest of my business, because the next person's business coming out is yours. Keep it cute. Keep it the fuck cute. So then Robyn tells Gizelle about the conversation that she had with Ashley prior, where Ashley tells her that she got a weird DM from Chris. Chris tells her and her friend, oh, y'all should have came to the W. He's the general manager at the W. And Ashley apparently didn't know that. So she was jumping to conclusions, thinking like, oh, it's something wrong with Chris, bitch. This nigga texted me at 2:42 in the morning, and for what? Because me and his wife barely like each other like that. Chris, what you doing? And I honestly, I can see where that would be weird for somebody like Ashley, because Candiace and her had just gotten to a good place. So yeah, I can see how that would be weird if she didn't know that he was a general manager there. But since you already talked to Robyn, then that cleared that up. That cleared that up for me. Apparently not for Ashley. So Gizelle gets word of this. Now, Gizelle is like a dog with a bone. You give her just a little bit, she gonna take that shit home. you know? Gizelle now is like, oh, shit, now I could attach this to the thing that Chris had did there, and then boom. And that is what Chris get for being too goddamn friendly with these bitches that don't really like his wife for real. Like, anybody with eyes can see that Gizelle really don't like Candiace. And if she do like Candiace, she recognizes that she is on this show to get a check, and she got to keep earning that check. So she said, bitch, this is episode 2. Oh yeah, I done already knocked out a few bitches in episode 1. Now I gotta come for her. So now she describes her encounter with Chris. And they play a flashback of Chris saying that he would talk to Gizelle privately about a situation that's going, about some feelings that he had or whatever. So then now Gizelle is like, he came into my room. Nobody else was there. Now I feel uncomfortable because nobody else is in my room. How is that Chris's problem? How is that Chris's problem that you feel uncomfortable because nobody else is in your room? Because you thought that your glam was in your room. Don't you pay your glam? Why would you not know that your glam has left? Right? Okay, so whatever. She doesn't know that her glam isn't there. She feels uncomfortable. Gizelle is entitled to feel uncomfortable about, she's allowed to feel uncomfortable about being in an enclosed space with a married man. She is allowed to feel uncomfortable with that situation just because of the optics. She's an unmarried woman. He's a married man. They're in an enclosed space. You can feel like, ooh, this might not be a good look for us. This may not look good for us. You can feel that way. But then you trying to spin that as if Chris was trying to hit on you is like a bit of a reach. And it's not a bit of a reach. It is a very long reach and an extended reach. Now you are like trying to box with God. Your arms are not long enough, sister. You can't do that. Like, pull back a little bit, So she's telling this story, and thankfully Robyn, the one of the green-eyed bandits who has a lick of sense, tells her, like, girl, that's not that. Did he say anything to you? Did he touch you? Did he do anything? No, Chris is just friendly, and he has always been friendly. We've been into his home. He has cooked for us, and you know his character. You know the kind of man that he is. So even with Gizelle knowing Chris's character, and then you implying the fact that he did something inappropriate with you, is just a new low for Gizelle, because you're kind of stoking the Me Too flames. You are all but saying that, this is a Me Too movement type of situation. And I said earlier today on Twitter that Gizelle is a very dangerous kind of woman, because now it makes it seem like no man can be next to you or around you, because now he's in fear that, like, you're about to pull a stunt on him. You've been alone in a room with a man, 2 adults who have a history, who have a 5-year-long friendship-ish. You should not feel, let me not say that the lady shouldn't feel uncomfortable, because those are her feelings and she is entitled to them. But when you say things like, I was alone, I was uncomfortable, Chris was being inappropriate, Chris was basically signaling to me that he wanted to see if I was with it. Those are all your very obscure interpretations of a man venting to someone that he thought was his friend. And it really speaks volumes about who you are as a woman, to where you think that you cannot have a simple friendship with a man without it being sexual. Let me not say who the fuck do you think you are, because men will do anything, and I am rarely in defense of men, rarely in defense of white men. But it's like when you have built a relationship and a rapport with somebody to where they feel like they are comfortable enough with you to have this kind of conversation with you in private without their wife being present. And with Candiace even feeling like, I know my husband's relationship with you. Like, girl, are you dumb? So that's what Robyn and, because I'm getting carried away. So Robyn and Gizelle have that conversation, right? So then now Candiace and Ashley have a conversation. Candiace tells Ashley, or Ashley tells Candiace, she explains the whole story about Chris DMing her or whatever. And Candiace decides to give Ashley the benefit of the doubt. Here's what I will say about that. While I would love to give Ashley the benefit of the doubt, Ashley's track record is not to be trusted. And the reason why I really say that in this scenario, because while I do believe everything that she is saying, like, you know, it is just weird. It is weird under the assumption that Ashley really didn't know that this man worked at the W, right? You know, going along with that, I can see how she would feel weird. However, when you had that conversation with Robyn earlier, you neglected to tell Candiace that you had a conversation with Robyn and she explained to you that he is a manager. You acted like you didn't know that in the conversation between you and Candiace, which lets me believe that what you were trying to do was throwing the bait out into the water and seeing if Candiace will bite. Because Candiace could have blown up on your ass, like she has done in the past, because you're trying it and you're going there. And I think that you could have easily been like, you know, X, Y, and Z happened. I did go and tell Robyn first because, you know, you and I are just getting to a better place. So I asked Robyn about it because I know that you guys are closer. She told me that Chris works at the W. And from there, I was like, okay, all is cool. But I still want to run this by Candiace because I don't want her to ever feel like, I don't want her to ever come across these messages and her feel like, you know, we hid something from her. I want her to know that her man had contact with me at all times. I feel like that would have been the way that I would approach the conversation. But I think that Ashley did not have pure intentions. I think that she wanted Candiace to take the bait. Candiace did not take it. Candiace decided, because she is a saint, she gave her the slightest bit of the benefit of the doubt. And to her, I tip my hat because, and I think it's because she didn't know that she had a conversation with Robyn prior. I think if she would have known that, she'd have been like, bitch, why are you bringing this to me like you didn't already know that my man was working at the W? Stupid. So now we get to the heels in the dance class. Gizelle and Ashley have a bit of a back and forth where they're going back and forth about Ashley's divorce. It's like, Gizelle, why are you so caught up in the way that Ashley is handling her divorce? Ashley is trying to get a free house out of this man. For all her trouble and suffering, yeah, she deserves a house and whatever it is that she wants. If she wanted a damn Maybach out of that man, let her get all of her things and sign away as she see fit. Like, it's not that wild of a concept that this girl is trying to extract all of the coins that she can out of this man while she is still married to him. And then when the divorce proceeds to take more. Like, Ashley is getting all that she can. She is milking the cow as she should. Gizelle, shut up. I don't play with divorce. Girl, it's not your divorce to be played with. Like, this is Ashley's divorce. Shut up. So, now we move on to Candiace and Gizelle's conversation after the heels and dance class. Whew, y'all. So they both sit down. Candiace is like, oh, child, what did I do? So she was like, you didn't do anything. So she explains to her discomfort with Chris coming into her room. Candiace is like, so you're telling me that you felt uncomfortable with my husband, though you know that my husband literally looks at you and Robyn and even Ashley as sisters, and we have all known each other for this long, and y'all have been into our home. This man has cooked meals for you, made y'all drinks, and you know the extent of his character, and you are questioning that to me right now and telling me that you felt uncomfortable with him. And Candiace looks at that camera in disbelief, like, oh, we are really doing this. we are really making this about my husband right now. Y'all are not, that was one of the realest moments that we've ever seen on a Real Housewives franchise. She broke the fourth wall, broke character, and said, because what Gizelle was also doing was throwing the bait in the water to see if Candiace was going to bite. She thought that Candiace was about to give her the smackdown, the doing the Candiace, which Candiace is known for lashing out very authentically. But she did not expect the response that she got. Candiace got up, politely got up, got her things, called production, like, cancel all of this shit. I'm not having it with these bitches and my husband. And I don't know if y'all caught it, but when Gizelle was getting up, that smirk on her face told me all that I needed to know about her. That she is a nasty, trifling, gutter snipe trollop from the abyss. Like, that lady just does not. Where is Gizelle's storyline? She ain't got one. She is like, when does it get old? When does it get old? Now, what I will say in Gizelle's defense-ish is that it always makes for good TV. It always makes good. It's always good for TV. Not good for TV, but it makes for good TV. Her trying to dismantle relationships and do all of this twisted shit. It makes for good TV, but it just really begs a question, like, about her character, because, like, that is just so low. Like, this is the lowest that I've ever seen Gizelle go when it comes to a husband, and when it comes to her trying to go at somebody's husband. Like, yeah, she came for the paternity of Monique and Chris's baby, but you painting with, like, a broad stroke of, like, sexual because I don't know if you can say that on YouTube, but, you know, actual harassment. You trying to paint a broad stroke with that, to me, is just the lowest that she has gone. And it's just like, okay, somebody has to put a stop to this lady. And I hope that next week's episode, Candiace digs in that lady's ass something crazy, because this shit just cannot continue like this. Gizelle has got to find a man of her own for the girls to tear down. Like, if she's going to keep doing this, she got to be fair. We got to get to know Gizelle's life inside and out. And I guess it's like it has all come out in the wash with people exposing her about different things that she's been through. But it's also like we don't get any new material with Gizelle. All we get is her poking at these other relationships, and then these girls coming back at her like, no man wants you, you're tired, you're late, you're through, you know, all of that. So I don't know, but next week I hope and pray that we see Candiace going full throttle on Gizelle, and not just next week, but the entire season and forever in a lifetime. I don't ever want to see a reconciliation between these two, because I just think that is so low. And Christopher, I don't know if that's his real name, but sir, you got some splaining to do, because I think that Candiace's fans have been telling you for a very long time that it is very dangerous for you to, the optics that you present sometimes, where you are holding Candiace back and talking down to her about her reaction to these women trying her. It has always just looked a little unhealthy, and now you are bearing that. You are bearing the weight, or you are paying for all of that shit. You are paying for being too friendly and not being on your wife's side unequivocally. Okay? So, yeah, that is my feelings on this week's episode. And in general, all I got to say is, where is Gizelle's storyline? When y'all find it, call me. Okay? Toodles.